Got kicked in the taint in middle school because someone threw a bug on me and I crushed it on the ground as opposed to letting it live on the ground. Have you ever bled out your penis? I have, a lot. How about that? That'll make you funny.
Tommy BOWE, one of the most unapologetic comedic forces on the Smosh cast.
It's not gay, it's a respect thing. Respecting each other's cocks.
He first started at Smosh as a meme curator and social media editor, but always dreamed of performing directly for an audience who understands his comedic sensibilities. I spent a day with Tommy to learn about combating stereotypes.
I haven't cried in the freaking bathroom for like a year and a half.
The power of self-advocacy.
I know I can do this, but why won't it happen?
And how getting kicked in the taint and violently crushing his urethra ultimately shaped his raw sense of humor.
Boom! Double chunk chocolate taint.
Hello, Tommy.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
It's like the first time we met.
I know. That was that was a fun day.
Do you remember that?
I know it was the Circle
Netflix party. I saw you all walk up from outside,
Oh,
and
shit.
I was inside. I think there were 5 or 6 cast members.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't really know any of you. But I remember you specifically, not just because you were the tallest, but because...
That's why most people remember me is that it's like, oh, the tallest guy? Yeah, I know him.
But because I had seen so many clips that people had sent me of you making those Where's Anthony jokes.
Right. This is my impersonation of Anthony Padilla.
He left.
And then Smosh spent all of their money on an Anthony cameo, $5,000 per piercing. That's crazy.
I remember it was super awkward because I think the first thing I said to you, I was like, oh, hey, I know you make all the Where's Anthony jokes.
Yeah, and I was like, sorry. I don't remember what I said, but that's sure what I felt.
It was something close to that.
Yeah.
So when I met you, it was interesting. It was maybe layered because I was like, who is this guy making jokes about me that I have not met?
Yeah, it's like, do you like me? Do you not like me?
I was trying to figure out what was the...
Yeah.
What was under there?
It was just like, sorry.
but I could tell very quickly that you were like, actually, the jokes didn't even matter. You were just doing it for it's the job, it's the content, it's the stuff. Yeah.
The jokes don't matter.
And we vibed. We vibed.
Yeah.
You know, going back to your position at Smosh, can you tell us? I feel like a lot of the audience doesn't quite know what it is that you specifically do because you went from crew to cast, and people are like, are you still crew? Are you only cast? What does that even mean? You're a full-time employee. What does that mean?
This is a question you could ask me any 6-month period that I've worked at Smosh, and it's a slightly different answer.
What is it now?
What is it right now, presently right now?
Now.
For the job part of my job, I am coming up with TikTok ideas. I'm watching TikTok, looking at the trends, making sure that we're following those trends. I mean, this is dated at the time, but we just followed a trend, did it overnight, and we got 20 million views on Instagram, which is what?
I just looked, it has 37 million.
Okay. Why?
37 million in less than 48 hours.
What?
We just shot that like just before lunch.
Yeah, no,
can you shoot this thing real quick? Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, no, that's
37 million views later.
And that's the art of my job.
I mean, honestly,
I make my friends jump and make silly noises, and then we edit it and get 30 million views.
Honestly, though, there is an art to it, though. I know it's like, it's funny because it's stupid social media shit, but there is an art to it, and you do it so well. So,
hey, thank you so much.
Let's hear how you do this. Keep explaining. I like this.
I have like 20-minute windows to just film as much as I can. And then I'm also, not dealing with, but I'm also like, did the cast just come out of doing something intense? Then maybe let's not have them run as fast as they can for this TikTok, things like that. It's also my friends and my buddies, and so I get to like collaborate. I go in with some ideas not fully formed because I don't like being like, say your line. It's like we're all comedians. So
I feel like what Smosh has excelled at in all aspects, especially in social, is that it really does feel loose. Like that's the point of it, right?
That is the point of it. You don't want it to be too structured.
Yeah.
Which is why I only do like written sketches on there, like little sketch bits, like every like 3 months maybe. I don't try and do that often because that's just not what works for us. I'll edit the TikTok sometimes, and then otherwise I am writing for Bit City a lot now. I feel like I just finally figured out, I've been like, and it's like, oh, I've always wanted to write at Smosh. I'm a writer, that's what I do, like outside of work and comedy and all that, and then it's like, here you go, you can do it, and then it was like, oh no! And so I just feel like I finally broke through like this plasma, and now I can just write. And I was up until 1 a.m. last night writing stuff for Bit City. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how in the most recent crew gauntlet, Try Not to Laugh,
Right.
you mentioned that this is going to be your last time participating in the crew element of that. And a lot of people are like, last time, what does this mean?
Tommy's leaving!
Tommy's leaving? Is this his resignation?
No.
Can you explain what you meant?
Yes, you coming back and the people you brought with you and our like reformatting of like how we do stuff at Smosh. Eventually we came to a spot where a conversation could happen. And I basically was like, hey, you know, the limbo's tough. I'd love to do more cast work. And I've seen literally how this works. The dialogue of like, oh, Tommy's crew, Andy's cast. Once that dialogue stopped happening, I've been booked on podcasts. I've been asked to do stuff. Like, it's truly like
even outside of Smosh, people see you differently because of that?
I wanted to change that dialogue as to like who I am online. So I put it in the stool and then I did like a final little cutesy thing.
And it was very heartwarming, heartfelt. A lot of people said it made them cry. But I think that's one of the things that you do so well is you bring that heart while also bringing that
bite,
the heart and the bite.
Yeah.
Can you kind of briefly tell us what you were initially hired for at Smosh and what you initially wanted to do and how you ended up now being full-time cast and getting to do the things that you actually really, really want to do?
Yeah. So someone at Defy quit and then there was an opening and my friend worked there. And so he was like, you should just come and do this. It was to make memes for the Smosh Games Instagram account.
There was a specific job duty just for that?
Yes.
That is wild.
Isn't that insane? It was that and make Facebook videos. And then we started doing streaming on the game's Facebook channel because Facebook was like, we want to be Twitch. And so they tried this like stream thing. Yeah. Then I was the guy with the chat while the cast member was playing the game. And so I just slowly got to like hang out with Damien over and over again. And I was like, you're fucking funny. And he was like, you're fucking funny. And we were just like, hey. And so like slowly I become friends with all of these people just cause like we're hanging out. And then there's even, you know, there was a few cast members that like wouldn't talk during the streaming game. And I'm like, okay, then I guess I'll entertain.
Cause they were busy playing?
Correct. And so I was doing that. And then through that, like the small chunk of that audience got to know who I was. And then at one point, I don't know why, they threw me in a video and I just went in with the mindset of like, I know some of these people, I don't know some of these people, I'm gonna pretend I've known them for 10 years and just hang out. And that worked really well. Cause it's just like, hey, we're all, like that's the content, as we're buddies, so let's just hang out. And Defy shut down. And then—
How soon did they shut down after you got that on-camera moment?
2 months probably.
2 months, okay.
It was really like, oh, wait a second, this could be something. Nope.
Okay.
No,
okay.
it won't. And then there was like even a thing where they were like, hey, you know, we would love for you to be a full-time cast member, but that's not gonna happen for you. This cool place called G4 is having an audition right now for this thing called X-Play. And so I went and I slaved that audition and they shut down the week after. And I was like,
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, the pattern. So yeah, there were all of these like things that I kept like, oh, is this the path? No, that's not the path.
Were you feeling defeated at all during that time?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's where like the OG like Tommy's depressed like thing came from, is because I was like, I know I can do this. Why won't it happen? But then yeah, over time, just like slowly, and then you coming in with Allie and everyone like truly opened the floor for like a true conversation. And like at that point I was like, oh no, I have to prove myself again.
Yeah.
But it actually was a blessing because it was like, I'm proving myself to someone who'd like is like truly open to hear it, as opposed to like, okay, prove yourself.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, who are you? What's the deal?
I remember in some of those earliest discussions, I mean, we were talking about a lot of things. We were trying to restructure everything, trying to make sure everyone was doing the right job and doing the job that they were best at. And I was like, why is Tommy split between crew but not quite cast? And I was like, if someone is extremely good at doing what they do on camera, like, let's see what that could turn into.
The problem is I was very good at the social thing too.
That's the issue.
That's the issue.
And that they couldn't find someone else that could do that as well.
Exactly.
So
Kids, don't be good at two things. If you're good at two things, kill one of them. I don't know if that's good advice.
Even if it's a human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We condone that.
Or if it's a part of you, right?
Exactly. Oh,
I mean, you still do social stuff though now.
I still do social stuff, but it's a lot less. I mean, I used to like edit Facebook videos, do cut downs. And it was like editor first, everything else is for fun.
I feel like I could kind of sense that, you know, in our earliest days of me being in the office and you being there, like you would light up on camera but then I would see you sitting there editing our like food battle promo and you'd just be like, click, click, click. I was like, he does not like this. I see what he likes doing. It is not this.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, but what has that been like now, being more of that forward-facing cast member? You know, you said that you're being recognized more as that. People are booking you onto more external podcasts and things like that. I mean, you've always kind of been in the, like, you've been a public presence, right?
Right. I've been like Saturn or something.
Yeah.
It's like floating around.
Saturn with a D.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
sad.
it's so sad.
Aww.
But now you're. I mean, honestly, I feel like
happy during.
what the fuck is Tommy Glow Up about, right? Is it because you're able to do what you love doing now?
Have I had a glow up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. For the most part, I had a cool like life experience thing like around the same time that this all started like happening for me.
Ayahuasca.
It was like if a human being was ayahuasca. Ooh. And so I learned a lot about like you make your own happiness, and I kind of like got to this point where I was like, it's true.
I just went through that.
I was spending so much time at Smosh thinking like, well, what's after this? Well, I gotta set myself up for what's after this. Oh, well, if this isn't going this way, oh my God, I'm 30 years old. Oh, and I was not living in the present moment at all.
When you're constantly perceiving time, you're not able to even do anything in the now.
And then experiencing this ayahuasca metaphor, it was like, oh, if every day is like has a bad day or bad moment in it, it makes it a bad day. No, that's not true. When it's just me, I don't have many bad days really. And so I was just like, okay, my life's actually pretty good. Wait, let me just say f it to the future and just be, and the world continues to remind us that time is fleeting and everything is temporary. So I was just like, you know what? Screw that. I'm gonna do this, have fun, be good. And then it all kind of fed into itself and became like, I was like, oh, finally, I'm the Tommy that I've wanted to be forever.
I think that's so cool to be able to say that.
I mean, like, there's always more to grow and more to do and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I just wrote some killer sketches.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be so good.
Yeah.
This bit is gonna be so stupid. And I'm enjoying what I'm writing. It's making me laugh. It's making people around me laugh.
Yeah,
like, it's great. Like, who can ask for anything more?
I love that what we get to do at Smosh is literally just have a great time, right?
It's the best.
It sounds so stupid and obvious that like the point would be to have fun, but if we're trying to entertain an audience, and the more the audience is entertained, the better everything does. What the audience wants is they want to see us having a good time in what we create and in making each other laugh.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because Smosh has went through so many eras, and I feel like that's what Smosh started as, right? It was Ian and I just fooling around, make each other laugh, and then the audience caught on to that, and they really wanted to root for us who were doing that. Mm-hmm. But then, things became a little bit more corporate when we sold to Defy and a lot of other things, and it was all, there was so much stress and anxiety about like appealing to these people who wanted more and more and more, and then it wasn't so much about that. It was almost like the heart had kind of been lost
about
with
the trend or the... How do we get eyes on this?
It was all about monetary stuff too. Right. It was how much money did that make? How much money will this next thing make that we're going to invest time and money into? And will the investors be happy? All this stuff. It's been really cool kind of seeing that the heart of Smosh has kind of been made the core focus of it now, which is like make each other have a good time. Like you said, like that. You could get so amped about these city bits that you're writing because everyone is having such a good time. It sounds like you're having a good time writing it. So.
Oh yeah. And directing stuff too. I get to direct now. It's great.
And that's the thing too. You're not just cast.
Right. Exactly.
But you're doing the things that you want to do. Even if it's not just cast, you're doing the things that you want to do behind the scenes too. I
mean, I was a theater major in middle school, high school. That's right. I also went to
You majored in middle school?
That's right. I went to an arts middle school, a public middle school, but you had to audition.
Damn.
I was a theater major, and then high school, same thing. Okay. Usually they kind of went, if you went to that middle school, you kind of went to that high school, kind of went together. Yeah. And I was a theater major, and then I was a BFA actor at UCF for 1 year, and then I quit dramatically because I realized I hate this so much. Mostly the interpret someone else's words. I was like, why would I do that? What if I make my own words? Yeah. Then I know what I'm saying. Uh-huh. And so I was like, I want to write. I want to do comedy. And then it was just like, from there. Uh-huh. Anyway, so now I've never been like, well, I'm an actor. Like, okay, I'm a comedian, really. It's like I can do a little acting, I can do a little writing. And because I'm an editor, it's like I know how to direct for the edit and like get things. Anyway, so yeah, I got a lot of talents, I guess. Whatever.
I don't know if there'd be many other, I mean, there are other places, I'm sure, but I don't know if there's many other places where you can really lean into all those parts of you. But, with that said, it's not like it's all it's all perfect. I mean, like there are some elements of being in the public eye, especially now having more of an audience, and that in addition to not just performing, but because you're writing, people may criticize certain things that you write.
Oh yeah, the public eye thing that you asked me a little while ago.
Yes. How has that been, being in the public eye?
It's been, for the most part, good and interesting and fun. We were experimenting on Bit City. We were trying some stuff. It was interesting to receive my first some would call it feedback.
Okay.
I think feedback's usually a little more gentle.
Okay.
And this is so like, oh, Tommy, don't do this. Don't read the comments. I have a YouTuber friend. I was over at his house. We were talking and he was like, why are you reading the comments? And I was like, I don't know.
It's like doom scrolling.
It is doom scrolling, but I'm a comedian performer. I don't hear laughter outside of the room. Like I don't hear our audience laughter.
It's almost like you're looking to see if the audience is laughing with you.
Right. Yeah. I was like, I want to see like, oh, it was funny. Okay, good. It was funny. They liked it. As opposed to like.
And in a way, especially when you're writing this stuff, you're kind of like, do I want to look at the feedback so I know how to write to improve? Am I going to refine my work if I keep looking at this stuff?
To this medium or this brand? Yeah.
But it's also obviously a double-edged sword.
Right. Exactly.
Because you'll find that comment. And maybe it's just one comment.
Oh,
maybe that one comment is 7,000 words long.
Tommy doesn't deserve anything anymore. And it's like, oh, do I not deserve anything anymore? And then I'm like, no, this 7-year-old that I never would have listened to if they said this to my face on the street. Exactly. But I also know that like my jokes can be kind of like ding dow sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though like I grew up on South Park. I grew up on like King of the Hill, and then I love like Veep and 30 Rock. So I love like a tight joke that is like a little make fun, a little poignant maybe, and like at its heart, like smart and clever.
I think there is a layer to that some people might not get where it's like, I don't really mean it.
Exactly. And that's kind of my whole thing.
I don't think people can read that though if they don't know you sometimes.
That's true.
You know? So I think people are like, oh, he's mean.
That's true. Where it's like, I read the thing to like 6 people at work and they're like, this is hilarious. And
because they know you a little bit.
Right. And then like we film it and then they're like, what did Tommy mean by that? And I was like, everyone at work loved this. It's like, am I wrong?
But yeah, your comedy style has been a little on the darker, edgier, self-deprecating side of it.
Yes.
And that's kind of always been your shtick under it all a little bit?
A little bit. I mean, I've dropped the self-deprecating stuff for the most part.
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting too because that was a big part of your brand, I would say, for a while. Like the crying bathroom bit that went viral.
Yeah. Well, that was after I had already been like, we're done with this.
Well, it kind of crept up still.
It crept up, yeah. Well, the crying bathroom thing was... We were all pitching in these like secrets or like confessions.
Yeah.
I had submitted like I've cried in the back bathroom, and then someone else at work was like I've cried in the back bathroom, and then it was like come into my office. You both cry in the back bathroom, and then she was like I cry in the back bathroom, and I was like okay, so this is the crying bathroom. We've all cried in this bathroom, and so it just. Through making content, it then became that, and then because my brand had already been that already, it just kind of became that moment. And now, again, there's that thing of like what you put out there becomes the thing that you are.
It becomes it becomes reality if enough people believe it to be so.
Exactly. And so that crying bathroom thing went around, and now it's like, oh, you're the crying bathroom guy. Oh, you crying in the Tommy? I guess they got Tommy out of the crying bathroom, and I was like, I haven't cried in the freaking bathroom for like a year and a half.
Also, I think that without the full context, people thought that the crying bathroom was because you were depressed about your work or your position at Smosh.
Right.
The assumed takeaway.
And I honestly don't think I've ever cried about Smosh.
Even when I heard it, I was like, damn, he's not getting treated well here. Right?
Yeah, no.
Like, there's some shit going down here.
The fun thing about people at Smosh is they're also human beings who have their own personal lives that aren't public. And so I went through like, a breakup, and that was really tough. And so like there were just moments where like, oh, you got music on, you got a playlist, you're editing, and then all of a sudden it's like do 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 do, and you're like, oh no, and then it's like run to the bathroom as fast as you can, and then just go like, and then you're like, okay, I'm fine. Just like moments like that, and then like the ayahuasca human, it was just like a lot of like figuring, just like I had to, there's just like, I'm a human being, I feel, I'm a deep, sweet guy.
Wow, you allow yourself to feel?
Isn't that crazy?
And you're a man?
ew. It's a way of, I mean, just like a lot of comedy that's like personal, it's a way of owning it. It's like, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, I am depressed. Okay, yeah, and like to myself, it's for myself, you know, those kinds of jokes.
So it makes you almost not feel shameful of it, I guess?
Yeah, it's like, it's a combination of like, I'm on the internet, I want to be successful in this place. I still have moments, whatever. I do have this like mental illness love. And so I can bring that to the forefront, be like a relatable person, and then also just like put it out there and like own it and be like, yeah, like for myself.
You were kind of mentioning that there were some things in your life that did shape your humor.
Yeah.
There is a standout one in my mind particularly.
Yeah, so like I've been lucky enough in the last 10. The last like 10 years, I've been a pretty healthy guy.
That's a decade.
Thank you.
That's a decade.
Thank you so much. I mean, there's been stuff, but I had a crazy little, fun little.
What's this thing you're doing with your hands? What is this?
I don't know.
What is?
This feels
I'm
good.
so curious to know what you're about to explain with this hand.
I don't know. It just feels good.
Okay,
I got
what is this little thing?
Got all my fingertips touching each other.
Yeah, what is this?
It's helping me focus in on this. What this is.
What's the little thing? What is that?
So this little thing is called my urethra.
Oh, this is my urethra.
Is
this a one-to-one diagram?
This is a one-to-one diagram of my urethra. It's about yay big. So anyway, got kicked in the taint in middle school because someone threw a bug on me and I crushed it on the ground as opposed to letting it live on the ground. Don't worry, that guy lives in Finland now.
So what was it? Was it bug justice?
It was bug justice.
Oh.
Are you laughing because it sounds like big justice? Yeah. It's bug justice. Boom!
Boom! Right in the taint!
God. Brain rot.
I heard your buddy just got kicked in the taint. Boom!
Double chunk chocolate taint. So I got kicked in the taint, and that crushed my urethra, and then it like broke, and then it was like, it slowly, like, you know, just like skin when something breaks.
Sorry, we just glossed over crushed urethra like it was normal.
Well,
I don't think that happens every day.
No, it doesn't. It's called urethral stricture, and it's when your urethra gets broken and then heals up and closes up. I had basically like a tube that had scar tissue in it, and there was only just like a little bit. So it took like a long time to pee, and it hurt to pee every day. And at some point it just got really bad. And some doctors were doing it just got, you know, it's like, have you ever bled out your penis? I have a lot. How about that? That'll make you funny. But I was already funny. I was already doing comedy.
This made you funnier.
It sure did. But anyway, had a surgery. They opened up my taint.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, it's splayed.
Oh.
Wow.
And they took the chunk out. That was
blockages,
bad. And they
I see. The bad chunk.
The bad chunk.
Okay.
The block. They got that out. The doctor said, I have no idea how he was able to pee. Word for word. And they took a rectangle out of the inside of my cheek, which, fun fact, same skin, same type of skin. That's how squishy
So when I'm squishing this, I know what it's like.
That's your urethra, baby. That's your urethra right there. So I have a cool scar in my mouth right now on the inside.
I have that just from biting my cheek.
It feels the same. Honestly, on this side, kind of same.
Yeah.
But anyway, they built me a new urethra, and then I had to wear a catheter for a month for the next year. Basically, any kind of like sexual experience was hindered by the muscles that were cut in half, regrowing together. So that was also really cool in college to have that not be something that happens.
Right. You're like, I'm celibate.
I'm so celibate. So yeah, it was just like a very intense private area. A lot of people like looking all over your junk, and just a lot of like, you really have to like break your brain a tiny bit to then just be like, all right, I just slowly got this like anti-body thing. And I was just like, you know, like my body's a vehicle. It's not me. I don't like it. I'm the brain and the body. And that's not true. You are all of it. And so I had to relearn how to connect it. But anyway, that's what shaped my humor for the most part.
It is interesting though to look back on how certain struggles in our life, certain suffering in our life can directly impact something that we consider to be such a positive in our life later.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's all, everything happens for a reason, but
I hate that phrase, but also the reason it's overdone is because it's true.
And the reason is you. But it's true. It is true. That's why it's a phrase everywhere. I'm happy for every piece of my bizarro life to have led me to this, because now I'm like, now I'm happy. That's so stupid to like say, but like I am. Everything's going well. I've got like
it's
no
so
big
funny
complaints.
that it's so hard for you to say something genuine that sounds cheesy.
I know.
You're like, I can't say a genuine cheesy
It's
thing.
so hard
Yeah.
because I've spent so many years not actually being able to say that. I was in an Uber and then the guy was like, hey, so like, how are you? And I was like, you know, I'm really good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. My parents are alive.
Yeah.
I've got all, you know, I'm happy job. I'm getting to do what I love. I'm just taking it all in. And the guy was like, okay.
Like that was too heavy?
Yeah.
It was too heavy to hear things were good?
He was like, okay, damn, great, good.
Damn.
Like it was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it required you to do a lot of work though, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just things got good in the external world, so then things were good on the internal world.
Right. I mean, there's always going to be external factors for people's mental health, but like, you know, of course, having things go more in the direction of where I wanted them to be will, of course, affect my happiness and, you know, struggle and stuff like that. But like, it is a lot of just reframing. I'm like, am I going to be a reframer, like, influencer now? It's like, you guys got like a mental health, like, TikToker? But yeah, I don't know. It's just about reframing and, you know, therapy.
Could you name a specific reframing without becoming a full-on reframing influencer?
Yeah.
That maybe your younger self could have needed to hear.
Lean into what's in front of you and stop worrying about the future so much. That's kind of like some broad, like it's obviously more specific than that, but those are some like broader things like with Smosh and with things like career-wise in LA. It's like I felt like I kept like knocking on like doors when a window was open the whole time, and I could just hop through that. And I kept going, oh, is it this? Is it this?
Because you were taught you had to go to the doors.
Right, and it's like, go there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, this is right here. And so I just keep leaning into that. Like, the fact that I'm like writing comedy and getting to like execute comedy was my goal when I moved to LA. I didn't know the path was through a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where it was like, I guess I'll do this YouTube thing. I guess I'll be like on camera at this YouTube thing. Oh, okay, well, it's all, you know, as opposed to like, wait, no,
What did you think it was gonna be? Like specifically like some kind of mainstream media type comedy?
Well, I mean, like
venture?
I have several like writer friends who, why did I do that? They're writers. They're writers. I'm gonna take that back. I have a few writer friends. No, they're writers. They're writers. He wrote a book. He just finally got staffed on a TV show after doing the like script supervising and like all that stuff like in the writer's room for so long and trying to prove himself over and over again. But like we both ended up at that same path. So I thought that's what I had to do. So for so long I was like, well, I'll never, you know, Smosh is hiring writers who have done writing. And it's like, they're not gonna let me write because like I haven't done that exact path. So it was just like, I guess I'll never get to this end point. But it's kind of the same thing as like Shane was like an actor and was like on a TV show. And it's like, we've both ended at the same place, which is doing really fun comedy personality work at Smosh.
And
it's
creating
awesome.
a lot of it,
And
too.
creating a lot of it. And like, it's so fulfilling. It's like my friend who's a writer, he gets to write stuff and then it's taken away and done. It's like I get to direct it also, and then have my buds be the people in it.
Every aspect of it as it's being made.
And I can give notes to the editor. It's like it's better. It's almost better than that because like I can curate what I want, and it's like at the end of the day, if I can pay my bills, if I'm able to take a vacation every once in a while, if I've got all the needs met, then it's like and I get to do what I love. Oh my God, great. Then we're checkmarked.
That's one of the things I've realized in the past couple of years since coming back to Smosh and seeing so many people be thriving in what they're doing is, it was like Ian and I got to do that, you know, when we were in the very earliest days, and we were very lucky because there was no competition. So I don't think we could have done it otherwise. But either way, we did it, and now you and all the other cast and so many people at Smosh now get to do a thing where they're creating their own thing. They see it through, they direct it, they, you know, or like there's so many different elements that they get to be a part of and just have such a great time doing it. And it's like, holy shit, like somehow
I did that.
Somehow Ian and I accidentally created this world where now more and more people get to do that. And, you know, I'm crazy. So I kind of have like this vision of like Smosh in 100 years, 1,000 years. And it's like, we're all like, we did this. And luckily, you guys have been able to do a similar thing. And then, you know, generations down the line, people will be looking at you for advice, and you'll be hosting a f***ing show talking to them. You like, it's so cool to see like it can continue to expand and evolve, and everyone can kind of. It's like this crazy cool environment where it's like people get to live out a dream that they might not have even known they had, which is kind of what Ian and I fell into.
Yeah.
So it's so cool to
And
hear.
thank you for that.
Did it for you.
Hey, thanks, bud.
Did it just for
Appreciate
you.
it, dude.
Yeah, totally selfless. You know, because of my crazy brain, I like to think like someday you'll be literally mentoring the next generation of cast and crew, and like you'll be who they look at as like, you've been doing this for 30 years. Like,
Oh my God, that'd be so great.
like we want to like do this similar thing, and you know, I just think it's so cool to see that this crazy little thing can have evolved into something so cool. That's my ayahuasca trip right there, man.
Yeah, dude.
Just had one right now. Yeah.
I'm already seen as the gay dad or gay uncle, apparently. So
cool.
I'm already almost at daddy status to be
You'll
a
be
mentor
daddy
guy.
real soon.
Yeah, one day.
Some people already see you as daddy.
Oh,
Just look at the comments. Actually, don't, because you're gonna be doom scrolling.
I'm not gonna.
Let's talk about your outside work.
Okay.
You don't just do Smosh. You serve,
I do serve.
as you're doing it right now as well.
I am serving right now.
And you also have a podcast where you do the same.
Yes, I have a show called Serving. You can search Serving C Tommy Bones on YouTube to find it.
You're telling
Basically,
me you can't search that word?
the lengths that I go
Yeah.
to go around not having that word actually be mentioned at all or a part of any of the branding while still having it be the show.
Don't worry. By the time Gen Z is in charge of censorship,
Oh, it'll be
it will be fine.
absolutely.
It will be great.
absolutely.
It will be required.
It will be required. And I'll make it so. But yeah, it's a great show. Me and a guest, usually a comedian or a YouTuber or something, sit down, we look at pictures of stuff, and we decide whether or not it's serving or not. Like that tree over there, is it serving? We'll take a look at it. It's like, she looks like, her name's Martha. I think she's drinking an iced coffee right now. She's not really serving. I feel like she could wear a better dress. Something like that.
Like she's a little insecure.
She's a little, exactly, and
little
that's
bit.
not, and that's not fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is the show. And so we do that with pictures of stuff.
Just
and then
random objects and things.
yeah, there's 3 categories, and each one has 5 pictures, so it'll be like plants, rugs, shoes. And so we'll just look at those and decide a top 1 of each, and
That's
then we're
so
gonna
fun.
compare the 3, and then we're gonna pick a winner.
That's so
and
fun.
It.
I mean, it kind of does sound like an evolved Tommy-specific version of something that you might do otherwise on Smosh, but like you could only do it in this environment.
pocket. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Weird.
I wanted to make a show that was just fun to do. And we film all the episodes in one day. So it's a lot of like all at once, but it's one of my favorite days every year. I only do it once a year apparently, but it's my favorite day every year. And yeah, I edit it all myself. I make all the music myself because I don't want to have to pay for licensing. I make all the logos. I do all the sound effects.
Yeah.
I curated the tone and the style of the show as best I could. I didn't want to over edit it because it's funny enough. It doesn't need to have all the bells and whistles. And so it's truly like, I mean, I have like my friend Alex Bear helps me come up with these games and find the pictures and talk things out, and he helps me produce. And now Vita, who's at Smosh, is on board helping with like curating our next round of stuff and like just the camera work, and it's like it's a small little team, but it's a lot of me doing, I'm gonna go, like the other day at Smosh, I went in and I did a social video, and then I wrote.
You mean the one that got 30 million views in 24 hours?
That's right. And then I wrote, and then I directed something, and then I was on the podcast, and then I went home and I edited my show.
Yeah.
And so at the end of that, I was like,
You're working
my
like
brain's like,
two
ow!
2 full-time jobs, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also a blast, because then I'm like editing and I'm like, that's gonna be funny when they see it. So it's like, it's all a joy. It's a joy, yeah. So that's the one thing that I do outside of Smosh is the serving show.
It almost feels like a one-man show. There's a lot of people that help you there behind the scenes, but you also do have that one-man show that you did as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, we haven't done that in a while.
That's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, but we did do that.
Would you do another?
The way that my life seems to be right now is there's serving season, and then there's like mystery season.
Okay, so there could be.
So this next pocket, I want to do either like a one-man show or my friend Alex Bear, who I did that first big show with, which was part of the live.smosh.com bundle. I don't know if we're still doing that. I don't think so.
We're not.
We're not. It's over. But we did that, and we did that at like UCB, and we like did like a little Tory thing. We had written a pilot ages ago that is so funny. And it's like, oh, you write a pilot. Who are you? You're gonna go film a pilot? And so we might turn that into a stage show just because it's like, I wanna do another show. It's so fun to be with an audience and hear the applause and do that live stuff. So we'll see if that's what the second half of the season is this year.
Those wheels are always turning.
They're always turning. If I'm not creating, I'm not alive.
Or you're going on a journey of self-growth and self-love.
That's so true. And that was important. So
that's very important.
There you go.
People don't do that because they want all the other stuff.
I know.
But you need that in order to get the other stuff sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta cook inside and outside.
Yeah.
I was at the booth and Courtney just took me over. You were like 12 steps away.
Yeah.
And you had your back turned. Courtney's like, dink. You turn around. I was like, well, there he is.
I'm so glad that happened though, honestly, because I don't think I would have said hi unless you walked over because I was so awkward. I was like, it was before I had done any internal work, and I was just like, if I don't address it, it doesn't exist.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't have either. I mean, I was just like, oh, okay, well, he probably hates me, and I don't know what.
So you did think I hated you.
I was correct in assuming that you thought that of me, that you were like this guy, and like he says all this stuff. What's the deal?
I only felt weird because I didn't know how you felt about me. It's that weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought that maybe you were just so annoyed, and these are all assumptions, that you were annoyed with people commenting about me when you're like, who the fuck is this guy even? Stop talking about him.
Well,
you know.
I was also insecure.
Weren't we all?
Yeah.
Weren't we all?